Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're back at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport, and this is the 2022 Mercedes-Benz CLS 450. And there's some really interesting changes we're going to talk about. One in particular I'm going to show you here, but real quick. The exterior on this model is called graphite gray. It has sienna brown and black interior. It actually has a black headliner. I really like the contrast of what we have here with the interior. I'm going to open the door here. As you'll notice, it's going to have frameless windows, so no door frame around the window right here. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like that design? But I really am digging this interior. That sienna brown contrasted with the black, especially that black headliner. It just looks right. It looks real high end, which obviously you would expect that this model is. But here is something that's really interesting. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at what's over here next to this model real quick. This is the diamond block grille, but this is the previous model. This is a 21 model we're looking at right here. This is different, so take a good look at that, and then I'm going to have Carrie come over to the other car that we're looking at today and show you the front grille on it and show you some of the changes here. So as you're going to notice that this is a completely different design from what we saw for 2020 and even 2021. What do you think about that? That has changed. They've made this area right here in the middle a little bit more thin. These areas right here don't really have a round shape to them anymore as they did in the past. So Mercedes-Benz making some changes there. I always like to ask, what do you think about that? Tell me down in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not? Does it make a difference? Tell me, and tell me why. Beyond the refreshed exterior styling, you will also find a redesigned steering wheel with new sensors, new paint options, new upholstery options, and wheel options as well. One thing that's very interesting here, you do have LED headlights, LED taillights, and LED daytime running lights. Everything you're going to have right here. But there's something interesting that if you're a Mercedes-Benz owner, you might be curious about. So we're going to get Carrie in the right position here where you can see the front end. The ignition is not on right now. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the switch for controlling the headlight functionality. I'm going to turn it all the way down to the bottom left-hand corner. And what you're going to notice is that this light comes on. That's basically the daytime running light right there. But you're going to notice on the right-hand side, it's not on. Now, Carrie can stay right where he is. I'm going to dial it up one notch, and you're going to notice that the left side goes off, but the right side comes on. That's actually a German feature. You don't see that kind of thing so much here in the United States. As far as I know, there's only 3 car makers that actually do this. But the purpose of that is if you live in an area where you have to park on the side of the street overnight, you want to make sure that people see your vehicle. And so if you own a Mercedes-Benz model and you're working, learning different things about the vehicle, and you're playing with the switch that controls the headlight and the taillight functionality and all that kind of stuff, and you get to that point and you realize, oh, there must be something wrong. There's only one side that's on. That's the purpose of that. So maybe you live in an area in the United States or somewhere else where you park on the side of the street and you want people to see your vehicle. Obviously, that's very important. So you can leave that on. Now, here is an important tip for that. The ignition has to be off for that function to work. And just to give you a quick look at some of the functionality here, got the hazard lights on so you can see that. And of course, a very common question a lot of people ask about these vehicles, or any vehicle that I do, are there turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors? I really like the design of what Mercedes-Benz has done here, how that just kind of curves around. And of course, there's another question that's answered right there. Are they power folding side view mirrors? Obviously they are. And give you a quick look here at the remote just so you can see what's there. Now, one thing you might notice that's missing, or seems to be missing, is the fact that there's no remote start there. You still have remote start available, it's just through the Mercedes Me app on your cell phone. Okay, now that we've opened the hood here, let's take a look at what's under the hood. It's the 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder, 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Power is going to make its way through a 9-speed automatic transmission and ultimately find its way to the ground through all-wheel drive. And what about gas mileage? This motor's making a decent amount of horsepower, But Mercedes-Benz still says that you can get 22 miles per gallon driving in the city, 30 out on the highway. Those are respectable numbers, combining those total to 25 miles per gallon. And per every 100 miles you drive with this car, you should burn 4 gallons of gas. Now, one thing, if you're maybe new to the Mercedes-Benz models, let's show you a little trick here. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this, of course, but if you're looking for how to open the rear trunk area, maybe you're feeling around under here because you expect there to be a switch, that's not where it is. It's actually right here with the logo. You're just going to push up on that, and then of course the power trunk is going to automatically open. Cargo space here comes in at 11.9 cubic feet. And let me just show you a couple of things here. We'll raise the floor up so you can see what you have there as far as cargo space goes. A little bit of extra space there, and even a little bin here that you can set up to store things in and all that kind of stuff. And if you need to do so, you can hang the floor right here via that hook. So that just kind of makes things a little bit more simplified. Now, how do you maximize your cargo space? You might be looking around in the interior for some kind of a release on the seats. That's not where it is. It's actually right here. You're going to pull on those, and I will go inside and let the seats down, and we'll kind of show you from Carrie's vantage point back there. There you go. There's one side, and there is the other side. And that's not all. You know, this is starting to sound kind of like an infomercial. I'm going to put those back up and in place, and Carrie can stay right where he is. There is one release in the interior, and it's for the pass-through right here, just in case you want to maybe go skiing or buy some expensive wood or something like that with the price of wood these days. And you can stick that right through here, or your skis or whatever, just so you know what's here. And obviously there's a lot of different options for closing this power trunk. You've got the 2 switches right here just to make it convenient in the rear. So on the right, you've got this one right here. When you push that, it's going to lock the interior and close the trunk at the same time. But we're just going to push the one on the left real quick. But I want to show you something interesting that you might not know about. The QR code right here on the inside of the gas door. What exactly is that? I hope it's something that you never need to make use of, or the first responders, if you ever had an accident and someone is trapped and they need to be extricated from the vehicle, what's going to happen is they're going to walk up and just, there you go. You can already see what came up right there. And we're going to just turn the phone just this way. And so here's the vehicle. So here's what happens. It gives a schematic of the vehicle and shows where all of the airbags and the charges for those airbags are. And the purpose for that is that if they have to cut through something to get somebody out of the vehicle, that means that something that might not have gone off, or a charge or something like that, isn't going to go off. It keeps the first responders safe, and anybody who may be trapped in the vehicle safe, just in case you're curious about what that is. But like I say, I hope you never need to make use of that. Okay guys, let's take a look here into the back seat of the CLS 450. You got 35 inches of legroom back here is what Mercedes-Benz says. Of course, you're going to have the door bins and a little bit of space here, kind of mat pockets of sorts. You just pull that back and actually can put a decent amount of whatever you want to fit in there. Dual air conditioning vents. And then of course you can open this compartment right here. There is everything for connectivity and all that kind of good stuff right there. And at 5'10", I don't know how well Carrie can show you back here with the roof line. Well, I do fit back here, no problem. I'm sitting straight up. Not a lot of space left above my head, but there is space there. And of course, just so you know, if your rear seat passengers get thirsty, you've got these hidden away cup holders, and very easy to use. You just stick the cup down in there. I don't have anything to show you that with or do a bottle test with. And then you just hide those back away. Fold down armrest goes back in place. Okay guys, now to take a look into the main area of action and activity, the front seat. And just really nicely finished materials here. Everything looks nice. It's not cheaply made. I'll give you a quick look here into the rather deep glove box. There is a decent amount of space in there. And I like the fact that the ambient lighting shows up so well right here. And of course you can go in and change that. I'm just going to change that on the screen real quick just so you can kind of see how easy that is to do. We're going to change the color. You can also change the brightness But let's just change it a little bit so you can see what that looks like. That color doesn't look as much different from the blue. That's purple sky. But red moon, that should change quite a bit. I don't know that that's going to show up on the screen as well, but obviously there are a lot of options. In fact, a total of 62 different colors here available for you. Ambient lighting, not only as you can see here on the dashboard, but also within the air conditioning vents. It's bright enough in here inside the dealership. I don't know if I close the vent. If I can, I don't think I can close that without bringing the sunroof forward. You do have a sunroof, by the way. It's a conventional size, though, not a panoramic, just so you know what's there. But everything here, super easy to use, super simple, 12.3-inch screen. And if you're not used to this system, or familiar with it, I should say, this is the MBUX. So the difference is going to be that it's a touchscreen, something we haven't seen in previous generations of the Mercedes-Benz vehicles. Of course, you can see everything you have there. If you're like Monk and you don't want fingerprints on your screen, well, you can still use the trackpad. Everything very easy to use and negotiate. You can go home, you can go back, control whatever you want to from here. The volume for the radio, all that good stuff. You even have a few more options here. You can turn the auto stop start feature off and save the life of your starter right there. And of course, you've got the ability to hide away everything right there. You do have the smoker's package here, so if you smoke something more than tires, well, then you can deal with that right here. Ashtray basically right there. And that is removable, by the way, so you can have your 2 cup holders right here. Got those bomb bay doors right there, so bombs away. Let me get my arm out of the way a little bit. There is some connectivity in the front of that with a couple of USB ports. And you know what? I think you could probably fit between 3 and 5 Vehicle Visionary t-shirts in there if you wanted to. Of course, we cannot forget you have the dual zone climate control right here, but beyond that, and kind of along the same lines, we'll say you have your controls for your seats right here. And if you haven't ever noticed, that's in the shape of the driver's and passenger seats here in the front. You got 3 different settings for the seat memory right here. You also have heated and ventilated seats. And that's going to do it for our quick tour of the 2022 version of the CLS 450. Got to say a special thanks to my friends here at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me the keys to this model for the day to use here in the showroom. And of course, all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's right over here on the screen, and I'll see you there.